Now, there's a video clip trying to portray what UDA government is up to this moment. And fellow Kenyans, we are all aware that RUTO'S government have failed, for sincerely speaking. And this government is now being described as the worst regime. Those who are in it being led by President William Ruto himself. So there's this gentleman trying to flash back what Gaddafi did to the people in Libya. And let's listen to him before we proceed.
Why do you think they killed him? You think they killed him because he killed his people? Hell no. They killed him because, listen to me real good. You touched my nerve with that question. Did you know that in Libya, nobody is homeless? Listen, everybody in Libya has either a home or an apartment. They call it a flat. Did you know education in Libya is free from kindergarten through college? And did you know that if a Libyan wanted to come to America to be educated, the government in Libya paid for their education? Did you know that? I was there when he opened a $500 million hospital with 18 theaters for operation. I was there, and we went when he was making their own medicines. See, this was a man that gave free medical attention to all the citizens of Libya. And if Libya did not offer that kind of medical attention, they could fly anywhere in the world and get it, and the Libyan government would pay for it. Did you know that? No, you didn't. Did you know that from the oil money, every Libyan citizen got a stipend every year? And did you know that that man had no debt? Everything in his country was paid for. See? Now, when you got a man that did that for an African nation and was trying to do that for all Africa, how do you think Europe felt about that? Well, I was with Muammar Gaddafi when Gaddafi in 1999 advanced coming out of the OAU to the African Union with a vision of the United States of Africa. Muammar Gaddafi spent, listen to me, billions of dollars to create the African Union. Did you know that Gaddafi gave $300 million and the other African nations gave $100 million to put up a satellite so that we who call Africa don't have to go through Europe to get to Africa? And Europe was getting $500 million a year just by our telephone calls to the continent. Now we can call directly to Africa, and that $500 million is in the hand of African people. Did you know that Muammar Gaddafi was setting up an African development bank with $70 billion in the African Development Bank from Libyan oil money? That we would not have to borrow money from the IMF and the World Bank at these exorbitant rates. Zero interest under Islamic non-usury teachings. I just left St. Kitts, and in the island of St. Kitts, He was going to set up a Caribbean Development Bank. He told the prime minister there, and he was going to put $1 billion in that bank for Caribbean development.
Now, you've listened to that video clip. Indeed, Gaddafi did a good job. Gaddafi is the only president, was the only person who could consider human needs in Libya. And I'm very much shocked that Libya, there's no one who is homeless. Indeed, he tried. May his soul rest in peace. Africans, they don't like the truth. And that is what always hinders us. Most of us in Africa, we don't like the truth. Today, if we've been called to say something in overseas country, we go there to please them. We go there to work for them, which is okay. But how are we capable to defend ourselves as Africa? For instance, the video clip I've just displayed. That video is portraying the failure in William Ruto's administration. In some occasion, most people are now homeless. Most people lack food to put on the table. Many Kenyans are now tired and jobless. But look what did Gaddafi do. Gaddafi made it and assured that most people in Libya are enriched to themselves based on their economic resources. Based on their economic resources, which will boost them in the near future. And that is up to now. Libya seems to be rich. And they did not want any person to come and dictate them. They did not want any investors. They get out even from debts. What about our country, Kenya? It's when we are proceeding to borrow more. What about jobs? No jobs. What about oil? We have oil in Turkana. No one is even bothered. We are still bringing more people to invest. Why can't you spend and renovate this oil? We are still buying oil in other parts of the country, though it is a kind of source of foreign exchange. But how can we now stabilize ourselves? These are the things that video is trying to show us here. And if we are not keen as a country, we are going to regret. We are going to regret to ourselves. We must dig deep into this, and we must ensure that everything is well articulated, is well set to go before we think as a country. So I think Gaddafi's ghost now haunts William Ruto. And a lot of questions are now being asked and raised in social media. Why is this government not capable to portray Gaddafi's character? And why are most African leaders are not capable to portray Gaddafi's character? It's because they are only there for power, to enrich themselves, as they have forgotten other people's welfare. Though some of you will oppose this by saying that Gaddafi was a dictator. Yes, he was a dictator. But look at what he did to the people in Libya. Look at how he worked honestly to the people. Now they are benefiting, they are enjoying the fruit. And that is why Gaddafi had that interest, to become African head of state, as opposed to this. And now, therefore, it is very clear that if we don't work well in the near future, our country, Kenya, is going to be ruined. Because the leaders we have now, they don't think for a better future in this country. Their work is to protect their family and loot. You are now seeing the dynasties are regrouping. Uhuru, Ruto, Raila are regrouping. We Kenyans, we are left outside. And they will continue to regroup. And your welfare, your dreams with the air to sort out are going to be forgotten. And that is what this video is now showing us. Ladies and gentlemen, what are your take? I rest my case at this point. Bye bye. Let's meet on another political discussion.